Hey y'all, it's Manbina, aka the Crafty Lefty, and for our DIY tutorial today, we are going to be making these felt succulents. So I know these are all the rage on Pinterest right now. There are so many different ways that you can create these felt succulents. There are awesome free templates out there, felt types, colors, etc. So we're going to be going over all of those different techniques. One of the great things about these succulents is that it takes very few craft supplies. So to make all of these succulents, obviously I used felt, some fabric scissors or just really sharp scissors would be great, hot glue, some straight pins, and your template of choice. So we're going to go over all the templates that I use to create these succulents, as well as the felt types and colors and all of that. So pull up a chair, let's get started. All right, so for our next felt flower succulent, I just kind of made up this design, y'all. I found this flower pattern and I was like, I wonder what would happen if you folded it and then kind of made a design that way. And then what if I just did a bunch of them and kind of clustered them together? And that's exactly how I came up with this cluster succulent design. According to my husband, this does look like a succulent, so I am going with that. So for this one, I literally just folded up 3 of these flowers and hot glued them together. So I will be providing a template of what this looks like in a Word document. I'll be dropping a link for it in my blog post and down below so you guys can download it, print it, cut it out, and then follow the instructions that we're going to go over right now. Okay, so if you will notice for this one, I did use a little bit of a thicker felt. And so this is the effect that it gives you when you use a little bit of a thicker felt. I think it would look nice with like a different kind of effect if you used the thin, more stiff felt. So that's what I'll be demonstrating right now. So I went ahead and used my template and I cut this out in these 2 thin felt patterns, and now we'll be doing the third one together. So as always, you're just going to be pinning your template. So what you're going to want to do is fold this guy in half. So just to make sure we're extra sturdy, I'm just going to put a kind of a line of hot glue so that when I fold it in half, it has a little bit more tendency to stay in this folded direction. And then once I think that is secure, I'm just going to put a dab of hot glue and fold him back over. And so we'll have a little point at the bottom, and that's where I'm going to apply some pressure. So you can see that's what it looks like from the top. So since we haven't glued any of these sides together, these can open up as much as you want them to. Okay, so now let's start assembling it. So we're going to take these 2 pieces here and kind of match up their corners and see where they naturally kind of lean into each other. So again, we're matching up the corners here, and then these 2 kind of solid pieces of the petals are flush now, right? So we can run a line of glue right where they join. And then I'm going to just hold my fingers in place right there so that it stays. This guy kind of naturally goes like this. I'm going to run some hot glue here and run some hot glue here, and then just put him right in the middle like this. And I'm going to fan out my petals so that this kind of looks like origami. So that all of those sides are getting that hot glue. And I'm just gonna kind of keep him in place and apply some pressure. So now it just depends on how much you want your succulent to really be kind of clustered together like this, or if you want like a more fanned out look. So depending on that, if you wanted it to be more fanned out, for example, you can glue this side together. You can glue this side together. You can glue this side together. So it really just depends on, at this point, what it looks like and how you want the final product to be. Okay, so I just kind of put glue in different places to give it the look that I wanted, and that's how it turned out. So just to remind you, this is what it looks like when you use a thicker felt, and this is what it looks like when you use a more thinner felt. So it really just depends on what look you like and what look you're going for, and also what felt you like working with. So the other thing that I wanted to mention is that I used 3 of these template pieces to make this cluster succulent, but you could totally use 4. You could use 5. You would just group them a little bit closer together, and they would obviously be a little bit closer and more of a cluster effect. I think that that would work as well. It's just that I wanted it to be a little bit on the smaller side, and I liked the way that this kind of looked. I guess I'm drawn more towards that Y shape anyway. So that's why I did it that way. But you could totally use 4 or 5 of these petals and get away with making a cluster succulent also. So thanks so much for joining me, guys. I hope you had fun creating our little felt succulent together. If you have any questions, just drop me a line in the comments. And if you have created your own felt succulents and you have fallen in love with this template that you think is amazing, I would love to see it. I'm always trying to add more succulents to my little garden here. And until next time, keep it crafty. Bye.